Welcome to The Seven, a podcast where we gather for a quick discussion on a topic of our choosing. This all came about when on Twitter, someone suggested creating a list of 7 movies and tagging 7 friends, a list of 7 albums and tagging 7 friends, 7 books, 7 friends. You get the idea. Luckily, since it came from Twitter and nothing is original, I decided to take the idea and run with it. Thus was born The Seven, a wrinkle on the podcast that is getting ranked. We discuss our topic from 7 points, we explore it from 7 different angles, and finally, we give our list of 7. Join us as we go 7-fold. Welcome to The Seven. On this episode, we're going to discuss Disney songs. Joining me to discuss this topic, my brother Reggie. How you doing?
I'm doing just great. You've never had a friend like me.
Oh, I see what you did there. Now, Reggie and I, being brothers, grew up in what I consider to be the golden age of Disney. We had the classics from our parents' age and got to see the transition into what became modern animation. Whether it was on road trips, across bars, or at dinner tables, we have often discussed what are the best songs, the best soundtracks, where did they fail, where did they succeed. Tonight, we're going on wax to make sure that we have confirmed what we truly believe. And to see who's right and who's wrong. Spoiler alert, I'm right. But anyways, we're going to get right into it with our 7 questions. Now, what was your first favorite Disney song?
My first favorite Disney song is probably Aladdin. I mean, that's one that, I just listened to, on repeat. Really loved it. I think we had the version with the problematic first.
We most certainly did.
I have to remind myself not to sing those words sometimes.
Yeah, be embarrassing yourself and showing your age. I would have to agree with you. My first favorite soundtrack was Aladdin. I think Beauty and the Beast came out prior to it, and maybe even Little Mermaid, I think, came out before Aladdin. But Aladdin was the first one where I was like, I want to listen to this all the time. I wasn't always the biggest fan. There's some songs in Beauty and the Beast I don't like. Same thing with Little Mermaid. But ultimately, Aladdin feels like the first flawless, or near flawless Disney soundtrack. Now, what makes a good Disney song and what makes a bad one?
I guess a good song is just one that's kind of catchy and is upbeat. I think one that kind of has some range to it. You know what? No, I take that back. I think range is good, but I think some of the best songs are ones where somebody doesn't have to be a good singer to be able to sing it. You know, I don't know if not Billy Joel. I don't know if Robin Williams is the best singer in the world, but it works for Never Had a Friend Like Me and Prince Ali. Yeah, so you don't need to have the best range in order to sing those songs too. So I think the best a good example, just about any of most of the hero songs. You have to be able to sing. You have to have the range to sing those well. You know, Part of Your World. If you're belting that out and you can't really sing,
yeah, it would be embarrassing.
It's kind of embarrassing. And there are notes there where it's just okay, you're either gonna go for it or you're just gonna give up.
Yeah, that's true.
But as far as a bad Disney song, I think it's one that's just. I'm gonna come back to range. I think it's one where the person obviously could not sing and they still try to give them a song. You know, I don't think Hades has the best song in Hercules.
No, he doesn't. That's a real good one. I think speaking about range. For me, I think what makes a good Disney song, I think the film helps. If it's coupled well with what's graphically going on in the film, then you tend to remember the instrumentals and the lyrics more. I think one of the reasons why Just Can't Wait to Be King is so good is because, it's an awesome part of the movie, you know? It's memorable. Same thing with Hakuna Matata. I think those songs, if the stuff that was going on in the background wasn't so good, you may not love that song as much.
Well, okay.
But what I do think makes a bad song is very easy. If it's uninspiring, looking at you, Hades, or if it's problematic.
Yeah. There are a lot of problematic
ones. Peter Pan's got one. What Made the Red Man Red? That's racist as fuck.
Right. And I mean, I guess the thing
entire
too,
Song of the South soundtrack.
Right. And you could forgive Disney for some of those old stuff because it was like products of their time. So, like, I guess racism was,
it was more acceptable.
Just more acceptable. But then in Pocahontas, we get savages.
Yeah.
Which is fucked because it kind of both sides. It tries to both sides the colonial experience of people, like indigenous people getting screwed over, and it's like, well, they're both not respecting the humanity of the other people. And it's like, no, that's not really
not at all.
That's a bad teaching of history because on one side, the colonist side, you have what's his face, the fat guy saying that they're not even human because their skin is red, and then on the other side, yeah, you have them saying some messed up things about how the pale-faced or white people don't have souls or some shit like that. But when you really look at it from their point of view, I'm talking about the point of view of this history. Yeah, they were being exterminated. So yeah, it makes sense for them to be like, yo, white people just want to kill us.
Yeah,
but it makes them seem like they're bad guys for thinking that.
Yeah, no, it's very problematic.
Yeah.
You can tell that whoever wrote that, there was not a Native American person in the room whoever wrote that song.
Yeah.
What is the best song visual combo? As far as the music matching the picture, which one do you think reigns supreme in your opinion?
I think I like How Far I'll Go.
I knew you were gonna go with that
because it starts off with her trying to get past the breaks and then failing and then finally doing it.
Yeah,
it's just really inspiring, especially with We Know the Way kind of before it. So yeah, I think How Far I'll Go because it's one of the few hero journeys where the hero decides on their own. Ariel's doing it for a dude. Simba is doing it for
out of fear and
cowardice, and because he's got really no choice. Aladdin's doing it for a check. So in Moana, you see her doing it because it's I have to save my people. It's a selfless journey, which is kind of cool, and it fits most with her hero story and song and all that.
I had to go with Circle of Life. I think it's the best opening to a Disney movie.
No doubt.
It's just amazing with the animals. You have this birthing ceremony. The new heir to the throne is being presented. And then they just hit you with the final note and the boom, the title screen. And then it goes right into the adventure. So, I will say that How Far I'll Go was my number 2. Circle of Life sort of just edged its way in. What is the best instrumental Disney movie or soundtrack? And I don't necessarily mean a movie that's fully instrumental. I mean, what movie had the best instrumental background as well?
Are we counting Fantasia?
Yes.
Then it is Fantasia.
If you had to get another one, because Fantasia was mine as well. If you had to pick a second one,
then
it
would be Lion King. Lion King is one of the few soundtracks where I will sometimes listen to it and skip all the songs just to get to the King of Pride Rock.
Yeah, it's the best.
Is the best.
The best.
That is just an amazing swell of music, and then it's just fantastic.
I sometimes roar like a lion at the end. I'm like, "Rah!" And I think that is something. It's one of the reasons why I agree with you. It's King of Pride Rock is one of my favorite Disney songs, and it has no words.
Aladdin has some good stuff in it, but it's just not long enough.
Yeah, there really are bit parts of it, like when they're when he's racing trying to get out of the tunnel.
And then the avalanche thing, some of the stuff where he's out in the Arctic or whatever at the end.
Yep.
I mean, that's some good music,
not
but
Arctic.
It's just... Yeah, he sent him off to the Arctic.
Oh, you're talking about
when Jafar.
For Jafar. I thought you were talking about Aladdin. I was thinking Aladdin didn't go to the Arctic.
Yeah, Jafar sends him to the Arctic.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And then Magic Carpet. All right. Now let's get into what Disney has now become famous for, which is, professional artists remaking the songs, and sometimes doing the full soundtrack. Which artists do you think did either the remakes of songs or the album the best?
I think, let's two separate questions.
Well, I answer them both.
Because Michael Bolton's I'll Go the Distance is the best, like, professional artist coming in to do a song, bar none. Like, it is with a bullet and without question. If you think it's something else, if you think it's Elton John and Circle of Life, you're wrong.
It's definitely not Elton John Circle of Life. Can You Feel the Love Tonight? I would be the one if I had to put it. Elton John.
It's not even that.
But it's not that. It's still not that. Like, Elton John doesn't beat Tarzan. He doesn't beat Phil Collins'
right.
You'll Be in My Heart.
Or
NSYNC's Trash in the Can.
Which honestly. People seem to hate, apparently.
I know. I found that out doing research for this.
But even then, I would go with, if not Elton John, it'd be like Celine Dion and
Peabo Bryson. Yeah. For me, who covered it best, I'm with you. Michael Bolton, Go the Distance. It's the best. If I had to pick best soundtrack, it's Phil Collins and Tarzan, for sure.
Here's the thing. I honestly don't know how to do that one, because you know what I think it is? I think it's Elton John and El Dorado. And I'm saying that because El Dorado is a forgettable soundtrack, and it's only good because of Elton John. I think you give somebody else that soundtrack, and we never ever talk about it, like El Dorado and what's the other one? Which might be hurting my argument, but Somewhere Out of the Blue. That's the song. But I looked it up, and I'm gonna take all this back. It's not Elton John. Well,
it's not El Dorado.
It's not El Dorado, because El Dorado is DreamWorks, not Disney. So, in that case, I gotta go. Yeah, I gotta go Tarzan, I guess. See, I like Elton John in Lion King, but you know what song I don't like is not he did Circle of Life, he did Can You Feel the Love Tonight, and I Can't Wait to Be King.
Yeah, I Can't Wait to Be King.
It's not good.
Yeah, that's not a good cover at all.
I hate that.
Agreed.
Like, it is.
I try and forget it
God
doesn't happen.
Awful.
You know, like, that's the way I look at it. I really try and forget that it happened. Because, damn, that's not good.
But then, so yeah, I guess I'll go with Phil Collins.
Yeah, the Tarzan soundtrack is fantastic. Like, absolutely fantastic. Alright, along those lines, if you could have one artist do a soundtrack or song, and I'm gonna modify this, I don't know if I put this in your show notes, but if you could have one artist who's dead and one artist who's alive, who would you pick?
To do what? Just anything?
To do anything. Doesn't matter. Assume it's going to be good, you know? And while you think about it, if I could have one artist do a Disney soundtrack, my dead artist would be Prince. Because that would be a sick-ass movie, if you're getting Prince to be on there. If I'm doing an artist who's alive, part of me wants to say Walk the Moon. I think it would be a real cool sound. But I also wouldn't mind Jukebox the Ghost. There might not be a band that many people are aware of, but they can do rock, jazz, slow, fast, sad, beautiful. They have such a wide range. I think they would be an amazing Disney artist.
Alive, I'm going to go with Kendrick Lamar.
Ooh, Black Panther.
Yeah, because of what he did with Black Panther. I think that would be interesting, what he does with something Disney. Dead. If I'm going dead, I'm gonna bring back Queen. I mean, Queen members aren't dead, but Freddie Mercury is. But, like, Queen to do a soundtrack, I think would be kind of amazing. Like, they did Highlander and Flash Gordon. Especially when it seems like, you know, artists as they're older are willing to do more, like, kind of, you know, experiment more
yeah.
or something like. Because, like, I don't think Queen in the 90s or 80s or 90s would ever do a Disney soundtrack, but now I can see them doing it.
I also think some proof of that is I don't think you could have gotten Elton John or Phil Collins to do a full soundtrack for Disney. Like, Phil Collins will tell you and has said that he was influenced by Elton John to do the Tarzan. He was like, Elton told me it was a fun experience and that they gave him, you know, the leeway to really make it his. And I think now, I mean, there are people who sing on Disney songs, but, like, if you were an artist to be like, yo, you're getting a new Disney movie, you're getting this, like...
yeah, like, now it's almost like a badge of honor. Like, people want to be on a Disney
Yeah,
thing.
and you can't really pitch yourself to Disney.
Right.
They gotta be like, hey, we're coming for you.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's a real good point. Queen, Freddie Mercury, can you imagine the songs? That's the thing, like, I think about those artists, I just, like, what is that movie?
That's what I'm thinking, too. Like, if Kendrick Lamar is doing a soundtrack, to what movie? Like, I'm thinking it's got to be some sort of African-influenced one, you know, or something. Like, I would love for, like, there are tales in Africa that could deserve story treatment. You know, something like Anansi. He could be somebody's familiar, their friend along the journey, or he'd be the bad guy.
Yeah, he definitely could be the bad guy. And for Queen, like, I think it could be anything. It could be Disney's first LGBTQ movie, where it's like, which Disney
Don't
won't
hold
do.
your breath.
What's the guy say? Disney won't do it.
We might not see that in our lifetime.
But if they did do it, that's the type of artist you would want. Like, today, I can imagine a Lady Gaga, you know, being pushed into that type of film. Like, being spearheading it.
Do you think we'll see a LGBT Disney princess or prince
straight up open
within 20 years?
I don't know, man. I would like to think that's possible, but I just don't see it happening. Like, Disney's too afraid of upsetting the Christian crowd.
Yeah, but gay people have kids,
bro. Listen, not just gay people have kids. Gay people, not that it's like stereotypical that gays love Disney, because everyone loves Disney. But like, I just feel like that is a medium that they do well in. Like, you know, because of theater,
and
because
drag
of
and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's something that you would think that would go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Like, who are you gonna go to first? The gay community, the LGBTQ community, or a Christian conservative community for a Disney film? I'm thinking I know where I'm going.
Yeah.
Let's get through our last question real quick. What is the funniest Disney song, and what is the saddest Disney song?
The saddest is I Won't Say I'm in Love. I think that is because she's just trying to be so tough and whatever, and you know, I think it's a great song. It's underrated. But the funniest, I think it's a toss up between Thank You and Prince Ali because of all the references.
Do you mean You're Welcome?
You're welcome. Yeah, You're welcome.
I didn't even think about Prince Ali. That is a funny song.
Yeah. Matter of fact, it might just be Prince Ali.
It might be Prince Ali, exactly. You're Welcome was the one that really popped in my head, but I think Prince Ali, now looking at it, it is a hilarious song.
Oh, don't you just love the...
Just even the way it's sung is like, just makes you want to laugh.
Don't you just love the feather tune? Feathers.
I'm gonna have to go with your saddest song. I had Poor Unfortunate Souls. I couldn't really think of too many truly sad songs.
Sad though.
See, it's sad for me because of what Ariel's about to go through. Like, that's the reason why it makes me feel sad, because I'm just like, and you know, she's not the first person.
You know what might actually be the saddest song? Reflections.
Oh, I didn't think about that one. From Mulan?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a great song.
It's a great song, but it is kind of sad.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. We're going to get into Mulan when we talk about another category. Last but not least, last question. If you could experience / live through one song, what would it be?
It's no question. It should be everybody's answer. A Whole New World.
That's exactly where I went.
Ride.
Carpet ride. What are you doing if you're not picking the carpet ride?
Right.
I mean, you're swirling around clouds. You're turning clouds into ice cream cones.
Right.
Like, what are you doing?
You're flying around the world.
Starts well, ends well.
Yeah.
You get to meet a tiger at the beginning, drop the lady off at the end, magic carpet.
Yeah. It don't get better than that.
It really doesn't. It really doesn't. All right.
Under the Sea might be a close second.
Under the Sea would be great, but it's not a carpet ride.
Right.
I've snorkeled before. Yeah. Although Be Our Guest would be nice too. Although you don't get to really eat anything. They just dance around you and stuff. And you get tea and cookies.
I think Be Our Guest would freak me out. Like, it freaks me out. Because, like, I don't understand the physics of the people in Beauty and the Beast. Like, if I'm drinking out of you, this is painful for you.
Am I drinking is this your lifeblood?
Right.
Is this, like, what is it? Is it really hot? If I'm drinking hot tea and
right.
I mean, cups get hot.
Yeah.
Is that hot for you? Are you burning up?
Yeah. The dishes, if I scrape up, am I hurting you?
If I crack you, or
right.
are you're like, oh, that was my toe, or that was my ankle, yeah.
If I drop a dish, did I just kill somebody?
Probably. And if you didn't kill somebody, you shattered their body, like, ew.
You're the wardrobe. If I close the door too hard.
I mean, and not only that, how much is inanimate, or is animate in this thing, like toilets?
Exactly.
Stoves?
I can't have a sentient wardrobe because I'm never going to get changed in front of that thing. I'm changing in the hallway.
I'm not worried about them seeing me naked or anything like that. I'm just more about the fact that, like...
You're going to have sex in your room with
having sex on the bed. That's the problem.
Is the bed alive at that?
I'm just saying, if it were, imagine, are the sheets, or like, it's too much. It's too much. Alright. Well, enough of this. We're going to get into some quick, rankings, and with each question, we'll add another category. So 1, 2, all the way to 7, because this is a 7. Mm-hmm. So, number 1. Name one overrated Disney song.
I Can't Wait to Be King.
Wow. You just coming for my throat, huh?
I'm not a fan.
Zazu's part is amazing in there. It's a great scene in the movie. All the dancing stuff.
It's everything that we fought against with the monarchy.
This is a Disney movie. Mine's a little bit. I went further back. I went with When You Wish Upon a Star. I've always hated that song. Like, okay. I think it's overrated. It's always very high on the list of best Disney movies. You hear it all the time if you go to Disney parks. I just think it's overrated.
Okay, you know what I'm just thinking about? What the real saddest song is? I didn't even think it. Is American Tail? Is that Disney?
I don't know.
If it's on Hulu, it's not Disney.
No, it must not be.
Okay, never mind.
What were you gonna say though?
Somewhere Out There.
Oh yeah, that is a sad ass song.
I know it's a beautiful song because of when it happens in the movie. That shit makes me cry all the time.
Yeah, when you think about it for a second, you're
like,
oh man.
He separated from his family and shit?
Yeah. We can't confirm whether or not it's Disney, but we're pretty sure it's not. So yeah. But yeah, When You Wish Upon a Star, overrated. What are two of your favorite villain-led songs?
Poor Unfortunate Souls.
We agree on that.
And of course, number 1 is Be Prepared.
Now, I knew you were going to say Be Prepared, so I didn't throw that in because I didn't want to go full drift mode.
Well, that's the only answer. Be Prepared is the best Disney villain song.
Yes, I agree. And Poor Unfortunate Soul is a silver medal. But I like Gaston as well. Gaston is one of those songs that I think is more clever than it gets credit for, and it's one of those things where if Disney had a bar, I would want Gaston to sing that like once an hour.
I think Gaston is a character that the actors in the park have made better than
what he is on film.
Dude,
on film he's a monster.
No, what I mean is he's just, not only is he a monster, but he's just not all that impressive as a character. Like, I don't feel like he's not all that memorable. But like in the actors that play him in the park kind of brought him to life in a way that the movie never did.
That's true. He doesn't have the violent nature is not what I'm thinking of. He doesn't have the lethality that other villains have. Like, if you have to pick a villain to fight from Disney, like, Gaston's the one to go after. Because he's a buff dude, but he's ultimately just a dude with a gun.
Yeah. He isn't really all that threatening to the protagonist either. Because it's like, Gaston versus the Beast.
Yeah, the Beast. If he doesn't have a gun and a knife, the Beast just tears him apart.
And even with a gun and a knife,
he's still lost.
So it's like, yeah.
All right, what are 3 of your favorite hero songs?
One Step,
Street Red,
right, from Aladdin. Go the Distance, and of course, How Far I'll Go.
I went with Go the Distance. That's where we are drift compatible. I said You're Welcome because while
that's not a hero
Moana
song.
is a hero, so is Maui.
Nah.
Yeah, he's literally is a hero in that they're both heroes.
Ultimately, Maui is arguably you could argue that he's a bad guy.
No, he's not the bad guy. He did a bad thing, but he's not the bad guy. He's not poisoning the planet. But he caused it, yes, but he
he's fixing the mistake that he made.
Yes, and that's what heroes do.
But he has to be forced to do it.
Well, yes, sometimes heroes need help, need to be led because they're afraid.
Okay.
And my last one was Bare Necessities because Mowgli is not the hero in that. The bear Baloo is the hero. He fights Shao Kahn. He fights Shao Kahn, not Mortal Kombat. He fights the tiger whose name I can't remember.
Shao Kahn.
Is it Shao Kahn?
Yeah.
Oh. I wonder if that's how they got the name from Mortal Kombat. I wonder if he has a tiger cape. He fights Shao Kahn. He fights the monkeys. He is the one who ultimately...
He gets to spin off in Tailspin.
That too. I mean, he is the hero of the Jungle Book in my mind. Question number 4: What are 4 of your favorite female-led songs? Because honestly, it has gotten better as the years have gone by. But originally, a lot of the female songs weren't uplifted the way the male songs were.
Mm-hmm. So, Colors of the Wind,
great one.
Of course, How Far I'll Go, which is probably... Maybe I should just... I will mention that from now on, in case it comes up again.
Which it will.
Reflections, and then Poor Unfortunate Souls.
So I also have How Far I'll Go and Poor Unfortunate Souls. I went also with Part of Your World.
I thought about Part of Your World. I really did. But ultimately, if I'm in the shower... Well... I'm probably singing Part of Your World over Reflections, honestly.
Yeah.
But Reflections is such a great song.
And that is... so I had Whole New World on there, but that's a duet.
Right.
And I didn't think about Reflections. Reflections would kick it right off the list.
Yeah.
So definitely Reflections, Part of Your World, Poor Unfortunate Souls, and How Far I Go. Those are spectacular songs.
And I should have said this at the top, but I didn't. There's a hole in my Disney movies. Like, I haven't seen Brave. I haven't seen
Frozen.
Tangled. I saw Frozen 1 and 2.
Wow, look at this guy.
But, like, and this is the biggest hole here, which is probably criminal that we're talking about songs, but Coco. Like, I feel like we need to talk about the fact that we haven't seen Coco.
Yeah, maybe we'll come back with... Well, in my defense, I've seen half of Coco.
Okay.
But that was only like 3 weeks ago when
right.
Our friends came over with their young son. And it's his favorite movie. Yeah, so, yes, guilty as charged.
So the fact that nothing from Coco or some of those other things, like, I haven't seen Princess and the Frog.
Yeah, but I mean, do you need
Hunchback? I don't think I've seen Hunchback.
I saw the Hunchback. I've seen it multiple times. I just don't remember it because it's kind of unforgettable.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like... Pocahontas, I think, is the last Disney movie I saw, and then it was like that's when I aged out of Disney movies. So I didn't see Hunchback, and anything from like Hunchback to Frozen, I haven't seen, and I'm not counting the Pixar stuff.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I would say for me, definitely aged out at Pocahontas, and then from Pocahontas to I would say Moana. Moana's when I jump back in.
Frozen, I think, is when
because I haven't seen Frozen and I have no desire to see it.
Well, you know what? When I say jump back in, I mean watch them again. So yeah. I guess it's around the Frozen time because the last one I saw in theaters was Frozen 2, but I didn't see I haven't seen Frozen or Moana in theaters. I watched those on video on demand or streaming or something.
I saw Moana in theaters. Did I see it in theaters?
Like Lilo and Stitch, haven't seen that.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. Yeah, no, so there are holes in our whatchamacallit, but nothing from Frozen was probably gonna make my list anyways. Do you wanna make a snowman? Papa, can you hear me? What are 5 underrated Disney songs?
Okay, 5 underrated Disney songs. Everybody Wants to Be a Cat, underrated.
That's also on my list.
We Know the Way, underrated. Something There from Beauty and the Beast, Something There Wasn't There Before, is a great song, and not enough people talk about it. This one here, maybe put an asterisk to it, but Make a Man Out of You, I feel is underrated.
On mine as well.
But I think it's starting to get the respect that it did. The only problem is there are a lot of people, and granted, the Mulan soundtrack is quasi-problematic, I guess, in 2020. I understand why people have problems with it. So, like, I understand why people have problems with that song. That being said, in my opinion, underrated. But my number one underrated, Fathoms Below.
Fathoms Below.
That song is amazing. It might be one of the best songs on the soundtrack. But it's only like a minute 20, something like that.
And that's the reason why. That's
why like not enough people talk about it. I don't think. But Fathoms Below,
do serious Fathoms Below.
Yeah, we're trying the king and mer people sing. Yeah,
that's a great one. I'll say my 5. Another short one, Trashing the Camp, and I'm more of the NSYNC Phil Collins version of it. I think that one is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And I would also put next to it, from Hercules, the Gospel Truths from the Muses. I think those are all fantastic songs. They're like 3 of them. But I feel like
I agree. That is underrated because like I think about that and I'm like, oh, this is a good song. But then like
no one ever really taught. Like if you were like top 20, I don't think they get on there.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'll Make a Man Out of You. Everybody Wants to Be a Cat. You already said. I said I Want to Be Like You, but that's a pretty rated song.
Yeah, it is.
It's a pretty rated song. So I'll
I want to be like you. Ooh, ooh.
But I will say You'll Be in My Heart is an underrated song. A lot of people don't really talk about the Tarzan soundtrack, even though it is fantastic. And You'll Be in My Heart is a fantastic
you think
song.
that's underrated?
Yeah, no one. Listen, if someone had the top 15, I'd be surprised if it lands in there. Talking about normal people. Like, I particularly love that song, but I don't think everyone else does. Now, here it comes. What are the 6 worst Disney songs? Or at least 6 of the worst Disney songs?
Okay. I think you'll notice a theme in mine.
Problematic.
Yeah. Okay, this is the only one on this list, that is not problematic. Be Prepared. From the new Lion King.
Well, yes. Okay, there we
go. Because Be Prepared is one of the best songs, and like you didn't even swing and miss. It feels like it was a T-ball, and you still somehow struck out, but you struck out in a way that scored points for somebody else. And it was like, I don't know how you did that.
An own goal in soccer, basically?
Right. No, not an own goal in soccer. Like, I understand how own goal in soccer works, but like, you were up the bat and scored a point for the other team. How?
How, Sway? How?
Yeah. So, that. But now, and this coming, and I like the actor that sings. Anyway. Okay. Savages. That's just problematic on, like, we talked about what's wrong with that, but that song is garbage. What made the Red Man from Peter Pan?
Well.
Oh my lord. Oh my lord. Why? Why are we having a song about, why do they say how? Why are they red? You can't understand what they're saying. Like, that's fucked up.
Yeah, and I feel like
passing around the peace pipe and everyone getting sick.
I feel like they knew it was fucked up too. Like, some Nazi made that shit.
Right.
The most racist person wrote that song.
Who wants to live like that? From the Song of the South. And really, the whole Song of the South is problematic. Like, Zippity Doo-Dah is a kind of... It's a song I remember singing as a kid.
All the time.
But but going back and looking at it, he's singing Zippity Doo-Dah to escape slavery. To get into a world where he doesn't have to deal with it.
Basically, he's like, I need to go so far into my mind that I don't remember that I'm a slave.
Yeah. So, all that. When I See an Elephant Fly. Those crows from Dumbo and all that.
Yep.
Just blackface and chucking and diving. Screw that song. And then, number 1, the Siamese Cat song from, I think 101 Dalmatians.
Yep.
Oh, that's... We are Siamese, if you please.
It's so fucking racist.
So racist.
It's so fucking racist.
Because it's like, first of all, Siam is not in China. Isn't it Vietnamese?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, whatever. Like,
it's just fucked up.
Just like, this is what the Orient sounds like.
It's all one continent. They're all the same.
Yeah, so... Those are my 6 worst Disney songs.
I'm just gonna have to stick with your list because I had some other ones that were on my list. Like, I'm not a big fan of Shiny. I think it's kind of a shitty song, but it's nothing compared to the ones on my list. Let It Go, also overrated as fuck, but it doesn't compare to that list. Mm-hmm. That list is bad. All right,
You
now
got 2 worlds on your list?
I don't like that song.
My God,
I just don't like
you
it.
Suck.
I don't like it. It's like the only flaw in the Tarzan soundtrack.
No, that's a good song. It's one of the best songs.
2 worlds, 1 family, trust in me, or whatever that. Yeah, no,
Trust your heart.
No, terrible.
Give faith in love to guide you as you see.
Nope, not a fan. All right, last but not least, the last 7 in the 7 questions.
I'm
You're not gonna let it go? Not gonna let it go.
I'm very unhappy right now.
What are the 7 best soundtracks?
Is this because I said
Just Can't Wait to Be
Can't
King?
Wait to
No,
Be
that
King?
was on there before you insulted one of my favorite Lion King songs. But I'll give my 7 best soundtracks, and for the most part, I think this might be in order. I have Lion King number 1. I have Moana number 2. I have Aladdin number 3. Little Mermaid number 4. Beauty and the Beast number 5. 6 is Tarzan, and number 7 is Hercules. That's my 7 best Disney soundtracks.
Wow, we are drift compatible for our first 4. I have Lion King, Moana, Aladdin, and Little Mermaid, which may surprise you that I didn't put Moana first.
I am surprised.
That's
always been the battle.
That's always been the battle, but that's always been a science level troll.
See,
That's the science level troll.
Yeah.
Like Moana might move up to my number 1 in the future, but right now it's Lion King because, like I said, I can listen to just the instrumental or I can listen to the music. The only bad song on there is "Can't Wait to Be King." No, I'm saying the Elton John one. I don't like the original "Can't Wait to Be King," but it's got its moments, you know.
Yeah.
But like, can we be honest right now? I hate to say this, but Dwayne Rock Johnson, we all pretend that he can sing. We all pretend that song is not.
He can't sing, but what he does with "Thank You" I think is fine. If you're grading it on a scale of 1 to 10,
it's not.
It's
though.
a 7.
It's
the
song itself is a 9 or a 10, but his singing and all that, you gotta take it like.
That's the reason why it's
3
a 7.
points.
No, it's a reason. No,
points.
take 2 points off. It should be a 9.
It's cringy.
It's not cringy because they don't make him do any range stuff. That's the reason why.
I can see what's happening here.
It's sing song.
You're face to face the greatness.
It's sing song talking. It's not bad. His breakdown, kid. Listen, you're getting me flustered here. It is a good song. It's not terrible.
Right.
It should be a 9. It's a 7.
So anyway, where we differ is I guess 5 through 7, and I have the Jungle Book at 5.
Oh, it's a good one.
The Aristocrats at 6, and Beauty and the Beast at 7.
What was number 5 for you? Or number 4 for you?
Little Mermaid.
Little Mermaid, yeah, fantastic. All right, well, now that I realize Reg has been trolling me on Moana, I think it's time to get into our final question.
Mm-hmm.
And our final question is, what are your 7 best Disney songs? And you want to go first or you want me to go first?
I'll go first. Starting at 7, Thank You.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Yeah, why do I keep calling it Thank You? You're welcome. 6, Prince Ali. 5, How Far I'll Go. 4, Everybody Wants to Be a Cat. 3, Circle of Life. 2, Never Had a Friend Like Me. And number 1 is Be Prepared.
Wow. Be Prepared at number 1.
Be Prepared is the best Disney song.
Damn, I will say, I'm shocked.
It's amazing.
I am shocked.
Yeah.
Wow.
When Jeremy Irons comes in, he's like, I never thought hyenas were so shrewd. They're cruel and unspeakably lame. But they were glimmer of potential for line with my vision and brain. And then it starts out,
and it ends well too.
Yeah.
Be prepared for the coup of the century. That's another thing that makes a great Disney song.
You know why? What else makes that good? He knows his range.
Yep.
He's not trying to get out of that because, you know, like when he's like, be prepared for the coup of a century. Like, it's not, it's singing, but it's not like...
He uses his baritone voice, talking voice to sort of keep the flow going as opposed to trying to go too low or too high. That's very true. And again, another thing that makes a great Disney movie, background stuff. Like, you know, he's like, prepare for the coup of the century. Be prepared for, the
murkiest scam.
La la la.
Meticulous
We'll
planning.
have food.
Yeah.
Lots of food. We repeat. Endless meat.
King undisputed, respected, saluted. Yeah.
Yeah, that's now I'm not gonna change my list, but I should.
And now that I think about it, I think I'm bumping off You're Welcome, and I'm gonna put on Poor Unfortunate Souls.
Yeah, Poor Unfortunate Souls is fantastic. Like,
it deserves to
be on there.
On
Alright, so here's my 7, and we'll see how long it lasts. Number 7, Prince Ali. Number 8, Be Prepared. Number 6, Be Prepared. Number 5, A Friend Like Me. Number 4, Go the Distance, the Michael Bolton version.
Okay.
Number 3, You'll Be in My Heart, the Phil Collins version. Number 2, A Whole New World, the People Bryson Celine Dion version. And number 1 overall, Circle of Life.
See, I just went with the songs from
the movie. So if we're going from the songs from the movie, that would be a little different. That would be number 1 would be Circle of Life. I'll do them in reverse. This will be easier. Number 1 would be Circle of Life. Number 2 would probably Be Prepared if I'm since I'm changing things. Mm-hmm. Be Prepared. Number 3 would be How Far I'll Go. Number 4 would be Prince Ali. Number 5, I would think I could see myself throwing the Aristocrats, Everybody Wants to Be a Cat. Number 6 would definitely be I Want to Be Like You. And number 7, I take that back. Poor Unfortunate Souls is probably going to bump a bunch of stuff down. I would probably put Poor Unfortunate Souls at 4 and bump everything else. Mm-hmm. If we're talking just strictly from the movie.
Right.
Because Poor Unfortunate Souls is fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird to think that, like, on Lion King and Little Mermaid, the best song arguably could be the villain song.
It is.
It definitely is for it definitely is for Little Mermaid. Circle of Life and Circle of Life and Be Prepared. Those are, I can be okay with anyone going in either direction on which one they give the gold medal. Mm-hmm. But definitely for Little Mermaid, Poor Unfortunate Souls is the best.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gents, listeners.
And you know what, before we go, underrated, Le Poisson. From Little Mermaid.
So, Le Poisson, how I love Le Poisson. That's the reason why Little Mermaid is such a great...
Right.
Literally, if Aladdin wasn't so flawless, it would be on the medal. It'd be on the podium
I'm going to say if it wasn't for Robin Williams.
Oh, of course. But I'm saying, I still think Aladdin itself is a damn near...
Yeah, no, what I'm saying, Robin Williams gives
makes it, yes,
bump.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Like, the only thing that sucks about the Aladdin soundtrack is Jafar doesn't have a villain song.
Yeah. And maybe because they're just like, bro, you can't sing. And he was like, I can't sing. Let's not do this.
Yeah. Like, all he has is the reprise, which I do like.
Yeah. Just be nice to have longer. Exactly. Have a full Jafar song.
I'm sorry, yes, it is he, but
not as you know him. Well, ladies, gents, listeners, we hope you enjoyed this first episode of The 7, a Getting Ranked, I don't know, sidebar's not really it, because we're still going to have regular Getting Ranked. But, look forward to some more episodes coming soon. We're going to have some Halloween-themed ones since we're at that time of the year. But we're going to be talking about a lot of different things, and we're going to framing it in this, and we're going to be framing it in this version of The 7. So, we hope you guys enjoyed this. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.